Marriage might have been fine for your parents or grandparents, but of what value is it today?
Well, the value of marriage depends on, most importantly, the people involved in the relationship. For some people, it is absolutely amazing, and for others, it's absolute hell. So it'd be idiotic for you to suggest to someone that they should get married because statistics. You wouldn't do that, would you?
For a more complete story of the beaver, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?
Isn't it, as more and more young people seem to be saying, just a piece of paper? Well, it turns out that piece of paper might be the most valuable thing you will ever own.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I already own several very valuable pieces of paper. It's called money.
Take the case of Doug Talby. At age 18, Talby worked a minimum wage job operating a press at a factory in Indiana and lived in his parents' basement. I didn't have a care in the world, Talby says. I didn't even have any bills.
Yeah, don't you hate it when you don't have any stress and all your bills are taken care of? I mean, that's fucking horrible.
But after marrying at 19 and having kids, Talby's perspective changed. I had to step up and think about others and start taking care of them.
Notice how he includes the wife in them. Why can't the wife step up? Why can't the wife get a better career? Isn't that an interesting commentary in this video?
Talby quit his factory job and joined the Army, where he made significantly more money and received housing and health care paid for by the military.
So to support his family, Talby goes to work in the military, presumably a job he didn't want in the first place, otherwise he would have joined before working in that factory for minimum wage. He puts his life in jeopardy to ensure that his children have a better future. It's commendable and I wish more people did it, but is this really a good thing for Doug, or is this a good thing for his family?
Recently, in a bid to further boost his family's income, he left the Army to work as a finance manager at a car dealership. He's now pulling in 6 figures.
So Doug made it. Good for him. He's a shining example of why marriage can be good. But let's talk about Frank now. Like Doug, he married at 19 and had children. He joined the military to provide for his family. But while he was away deployed to Iraq, his wife cheated on him and shacked up with an unemployed loser. Depressed, he remained stuck in his current job with a very large portion of his salary paid to support his children, his ex-wife, and her new lover. Tell me, sir, how is a single example a good argument for anything?
Men who see no need to marry, or who are reluctant to marry until they make more money, could benefit from Talby's discovery.
Or they could benefit from Frank's discovery.
Marriage has a transformative effect on the behavior, emotional health, and financial well-being of adults, especially men.
Absolutely, and that can be for better or for worse.
Men who get married work harder and more strategically, and earn more money than their single peers from similar backgrounds.
Hold up a second, are you telling me that people who work harder generally earn more? That's crazy.
Marriage also transforms men's social world. They spend less time with friends and more time with family.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how much I fucking hate hanging out with my friends and doing fun things.
They go to bars less and to church more.
You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you. On my bed I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night. I mean, how could all you can eat wings, beers, and watching your favorite sporting event possibly compete with that?
In the words of Nobel Prize winning economist George Akerlof, men settle down when they get married. If they fail to get married, they fail to settle down.
You know what, Fred? I'd love to settle down, but it's impossible just to do it. I need to find a lady, you know, throw some metal and carbon around her finger first. Then my ejaculate needs to hit the back of her cervix, meet an egg, and with any luck, that will embed into the wall of her uterus. In about 9 months, there will be an event not unlike the final scene of Aliens, in which case the fetus will be launched into the waiting hands of some weird stranger. Then and only then will I physically be able to settle down.
My own research bears out Akerlof's view. Married men work about 400 hours more per year than single men with equivalent backgrounds. A Harvard study also found that married men were much less likely than their single peers to quit their current job unless they had another one lined up.
Well, there's another fucking benefit of being married. You get to work way longer every week. That's awesome.
All this translates into a substantial marriage premium. On average, married men earn almost 20% more than their single peers.
So according to the previous chart, men work an extra 8.4 hours when married, and that's in a 40-hour work week. That means they're working 21% more hours. And as such, they get 20% extra pay. So how is this a marriage premium at all? Isn't it just a simple fact that if you work more, generally speaking, you'll be paid more?
You can read more about this in my study, For Richer for Poorer, How Family Structures Economic Success in America.
And I would suppose the book is filled with excellent arguments like the ones presented here.
Why is there such a substantial marriage premium? There are at least 4 important reasons. 1. After marrying, men assume a new identity. Married men are motivated to maximize their income. This means having a different attitude toward their job. They work more hours and make better work choices. Studies find that men increase their work hours after marrying and reduce their hours after divorcing. Sociologist Elizabeth Gorman concludes that married men are more likely to value higher paying jobs than their single peers.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like men in most relationships are expected to be constantly working as they're the primary breadwinners and put their family's well-being before their own, which usually means them taking jobs that are horrible only because they pay more.
3. There is evidence that employers prefer and promote men who are married. Married men are often seen as more responsible and dedicated workers and are rewarded with more opportunities to advance.
Only because they actually work more hours. I mean, you can do that without being married. Actually, it's way easier to do it without being married.
4th, and finally, married men benefit from the advice and encouragement of their wives, who have an obvious interest in their success. There is no better motivator than your spouse.
That's right. Remember, the best advice comes from people who have a vested interest in your actions.
The tragedy is that despite all the good news we keep learning about the benefits of marriage, the institution is in retreat.
Yeah, just look at all the benefits listed in this video. I mean, if that doesn't sell you, then nothing will. Thank you once again for watching. If you like my content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. It really helps me out as I'm a small content provider. And as always, have a good one, eh?